Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. And of course, this is the Pro Wrestling Logic Show where we discuss pro wrestling of a wide variety and 2,600 of these. Anyway, this is the Under Siege Impact 2022 show. Good stuff on the show for the most part, but honestly, does this show need to exist? Probably not. Heath and Rhino defeat Ron Singh and Shira on the Countdown show. Uh, Rhino begins the match with Raj. Crowd is into Rhino and they're chanting, "Rhino's gonna kill you." Rhino has an early advantage, tags into Heath. Uh, and then crowd looks to be into things as they're chanting that Heath has kids. Anyway, Shira and Singh counters a second rope attack, and then Singh makes the Heath makes the hot tag off to Rhino. Shira and Singh attempted to handle Rhino, but Rhino proved to be too much for them, nailing the gore on Singh, sending him and Heath home victorious. Rich Swann defeats Laredo Kid and Speedball Mike Bailey in a three-way match. Bailey supposed to face Alex Shelley on the show. No reason given as to why the match didn't happen. All men looked to gain an advantage early on. Bailey managed to get the upper hand on Kid, and he hits the speed kicks. Swann decides that's not happening and takes care of both of them and takes them outside the ring. Back in the ring, Bailey and Swann uh, and tries to earn her fans' respect and chance for both men. Bailey then gets an unexpected modified figure four, and Swann is in a good bit of pain. Swann makes his escape, and Kid enters the ring with basic return offense. After back and forth offense between all three men, Bailey nails a flipping double knee to Swann inside the ring and follows up with an Asai moonsault to the outside on Kid. Swann follows up, setting up the Phoenix Splash. Bailey manages to get the counter. Bailey then capitalizes. Kid nails Bailey with a Spanish fly from the top rope. And Swann breaks it up. Swann then hits the Phoenix Splash on Kid for the victory. Decent way to do a pre-show. Then we go to Julie Shaw with Alicia defeating Madison Rayne with Tennille Dashwood. Back and forth offense really early in the beginning. Rayne gains an advantage and heads to the top rope, but then has me answering my phone apparently. We'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail with more right after this. And again, we continue on pretty simply. I mean, it's ultimately pretty simple in terms of kind of getting things going and making things come together a little bit here. Anyway, so we kind of move forward in a reasonably positive direction here and manage to do what we can do where we can do it in a meaningful methodology. So, um, the continuation of the nature of that Impact pay-per-view. And again, these monthly shows at this point for a program that doesn't need to have them is just kind of goofy. Anyway, so Julie Shaw with Alicia Edwards is countered. Shaw manages Spinebuster, and then Dashwood and Edwards get involved. Shaw hits a knee and gains victory. As tag team champions leave the ring, Gia Miller interviews the Briscoe brothers, who hype their upcoming championship match against Violent by Design. Chris Sabin defeats Steve McLean. Back and forth. Basic technical wrestling leads the match. Sabin goes to the outside against McLean, but then catches McLean, damaging his lower back. Sabin then comes back and manages McLean, continuing the attack on his back, and then Sabin goes for no man's land. Sabin then hits a tornado DDT, followed by a swinging neck breaker. McLean then attempts a comeback, but Sabin proved too strong, hitting a huge clothesline and cradle shock for the win. Triple A, Reina de Reyes, champion. Taya Valkyrie defeats Diana Purrazzo to uh, retain. Purrazzo has the early attack and focuses on injuring the arm of Valkyrie. Few moments in, Valkyrie manages a comeback. Purrazzo then is able to get things back on track. Purrazzo nails Queen's Gambit, but Valkyrie kicks out at a near fall. Purrazzo is frustrated and goes back to the submission game, but Valkyrie then is able to reach the ropes. Countering Purrazzo then goes and grabs the Reina de Reyes championship and gets rolled up by Valkyrie and pinned for a 3 count. Post-match, lights go out. Mia Yim has returned to Impact Wrestling. She attacks Purrazzo, but before she could hit the package pile driver, Diana escapes, and Yim is left in a hurry. Backstage, Gia Million interviews Trey Miguel regarding his match tonight with Ace Austin for the X Division Championship. Confident Miguel states that he's taking back the title tonight. Ace Austin defeats Trey Miguel to retain the championship. Back and forth early, technical wrestling early. Ace Austin is still the best thing going in Impact today, and Miguel misses from the top rope. Austin encounters the fold, but missed. Miguel then follows up with a super kick, but missed that too. Evening the playing field advantage, Miguel hits an inverted suplex into a dragon suplex. Both men back and forth and back on their feet. Austin then gets some trash talking in before going after Miguel. Miguel gains advantage and then nails a super kick and hits a split leg moonsault, but then catches the referee. Determined, Miguel looked to close out Austin, but Austin is simply too much to handle at this time and hits a fold and a 3 count to lose in Conquest and retains the championship. Austin continues to be the future of the brand, and anyone who doesn't see that is just goofy. Honor No More, Eddie Edwards, Kenny King, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Vincent with Maria Kanellis defeat the Bullet Club, Chris Bay, Doc Gallows, El Phantasmo, Jay White, and Carl Anderson. Does anyone really care about the Bullet Club? I don't think so. Anyway, multi-person matches are not my thing. Bell rings and gang warfare begins. Teams battle back and forth. ROH World Champion, or the former ROH Champion battling a former IWGP Champion in the middle of an Impact ring, which is, I guess, cool for those that are nerds like that. White then gains the advantage and becomes a backrake center as the LP takes over. Bay and White Gallows hit major backrakes on Taven. Anderson attempts the trying to offset Honor No More. Honor No More then gets an advantage before Anderson's able to land Spinebuster. Tags out before both teams continue, and Gallows and King battling out before King gets the tag in and then managing to do what he can, quick tag and back to both action. And then White and Table battle back before it's all 10 men in the ring at once. Bay and King become the legal men after Bay nails Honor No More over the top rope to the outside. Vincent follows up, nailing one of the people off the top rope, and then back inside. Anderson's distracted by Maria and Bennett, able to capitalize on hitting the backpack stunner for the victory, and that rolls through. Bullet Club has officially lost their first multi-person match in Impact, and absolutely no one cares except the nerds. Tasha Steelz defeats Havoc to retain the Women's Championship one-on-one match scene and no interference from anyone at ringside. Havoc has a power advantage, obviously. Steelz capitalizes with quickness. Match spills outside the ring. Steelz managed to almost get counted out. Victory. Havoc then begins to recover. Back inside the ring, both women attempt to gain an upper hand before Havoc hits a Death Valley driver. landing a 2 count. Steals then mounts a comeback and then managed to land the blackout on her persistent opponent and then escaping the match, retaining the Knockouts Championship. Jay and Mark Briscoe defeat Violent by Design, Diener, and Eric Young for the Impact Tag Team Championship. Before the bell rings, the Briscoes attack Violent by Design as soon as they could get their hands on them. Briscoes own Diener and Young before, during, is on the entrance ramp. Violent by Design gained an early advantage on Mark Briscoe. He flies from the skies outside early sign of a rivalry there. Briscoes gain an advantage until Doring proves to be the third man effective, and then momentum goes back and forth between both teams. Both teams hit a bunch of double team moves, including high angle Death Valley Driver, a couple of 2 counts on Mark by Young. Jay returns to the ring and, looking to gain momentum, doesn't get what he wants on that. Comes down to the heart of the match. Both teams gained an advantage. In the final moments, Violent by Design, the Briscoes proved to be too much as they catch Diener in the Doomsday Device for the victory to become the new Impact Tag Team Champions. Moose heads down to the ring with a mic. Moose demands that Scott D'Amore come down to the ring. Main event is not happening. He's hijacking the show. D'Amore is able to answer Moose demands. Sami Callihan return, nailing Moose with a Cactus Driver 97, and starts back in Impact Wrestling. So I guess that means Josh Alexander and Sami Callihan returns at some point. World Championship match. Let's see. So Josh Alexander defeats Ishii to retain the championship. For those that are into that, I guess that's the thing. Corner power move game kind of level up a little bit. Weapon versus Pitbull. The match is all about power and all about single moves. Hard hitting back and forth. Alexander locks on the ankle lock. Ishii then counters before being locked in the ankle lock again. Ishii makes it to the ropes, and he's frustrated by that. Alexander then gains the advantage and lands a spinning power bomb, managing a 2 count. Both men get to their feet and back and forth for the World Championship. And then, neither man is willing to give up. Both men are in the corner. Ishii nails a superplex for near fall. Ishii lands his finisher. Alexander comes back on the attack. Doesn't hit a moonsault. Ishii lands a basement clothesline. Alexander then nails a powerbomb and attempts a C4 spike. Is successful, planting the International Star and retaining the championship. Overall, not a bad show, but certainly something that, except for maybe the Briscoes match, nothing you have to go out of your way to see. We'll be back with more right after this.